on, you bastard! Hi, folks. So, I'm here to talk to you today about The Hunt, as we have many times before. And one thing we've kind of neglected to mention, well, at least mention specifically, sometimes when you're out, hunting deer, as it were, you stumble across a unicorn. This, my friends, is a unicorn. Maybe a goofy, half-retarded unicorn, but...
Charlie, Candy Mountain! It's a land of sweets and joy and joyness.
Please stop bouncing on me.
Now, for those of you who don't recognize this, this is from the anime Amazing Nurse Nanako. Kind of a shit series, really. Pretty much like anything else this creator comes up with. It exists solely so horny adolescent boys can oogle over ginormous torpedo boobs. So you might be wondering, why would I be so psyched about something like this? And as always, there's a story behind that. So, we were at Rogers Community Auction and Flea Market, damn near the Pennsylvania border, and, I see this thing leaning up against someone's van. So I go over, I'm looking at it, and I'm like, oh, big Nanako poster, that's kind of cool. Then I look more closely. This isn't a poster. This isn't a painting. This isn't a marquee or anything like that. This is embroidered black velvet. Machine embroidered, but embroidered all the same. It's, the attention to detail is great. It's a lovely recreation of, actual promo art for the series. And if you look closely, it's kind of interesting. Some personal touches there, too. They did use, different colored thread for the hair, but looks like they brushed on some ink or something for the skin tones. But yes, just a lovely piece of fan art. So that in and of itself made it interesting, but then I got into learning about it. So this was being sold by a very eccentric old Vietnam vet by the name of Beer Cans. Man's an absolute character. And I was asking him about it. Well, if we look on the back here, it's several scribblings that kind of, give you a peek into how this came about. Now, full disclosure, what you are about to hear, or, well, about a quarter of what you're about to hear anyway, is speculation you are hearing secondhand through me, so take some of this with a grain of salt. But near as we can piece together, this was made by a presumably hot chick for a doctor. And, this was gifted to him. However, presumably, Doctor had a wife. And Wifey Poo wasn't all that happy to see, well, something like this, with, let's see, custom made for you from me XX heart, and things of that like all over it. So she's like, okay, this thing needs to go. And that's where I come into the picture. Supposedly, she said, and again, this is somewhat secondhand, supposedly, she said that about $1,200 worth of time, materials, and machine usage went into this, which, quite honestly is believable, especially considering, it's not in great shape now, but this frame was probably like $200 to $400 when it was new. And then I'm asking the guy, alright, so, out of sheer curiosity, what do you want for this thing? And he said, well, I'm looking to get about 4 out of it. I'm like, yeah, I kind of figured. It's like, well, make me an offer, he says. And, I don't have anywhere near that much on me, so I just say, yeah, I don't have nearly that much. I wouldn't want to insult you by making an offer. It's like, well, tell you what, I'm having a good day, half price, $200. And I said, yeah, I don't even have that. So I walk away. I'm like, oh man, this would be a cool piece to have. So we're looking at the rest of the flea market, and it's kind of digging at me in the back of the head here. And I'm like, oh man, I really don't want to pass this up, but... So I made a commitment at that point. I'm going to look over the rest of any of the, the non, stall guys, the people who don't have permanent stores there, because that's usually just 2 hours of me looking at stuff I don't want to buy anyway. And I'm like, okay, we'll finish looking over anything that might be promising, make sure there's nothing else that I can't live without, borrow a little money from my mom, whom I was with, provided the trip and many other things for me as well. We'll go back to the car, drop our stuffs off, take some measurements, and that's going to get really important soon. Make sure this thing will fit in the car, make sure we can get it home. So, everything looks good enough. Take the tape measure back, make sure this is all compatible, and I turn to the guy, it's like, okay, look, you gave me a great deal, I don't have quite that, would you take $1.50? So he just kind of hems and haws and goes through the whole rigmarole. Then says to me exactly, you know what? I've had a few beers in me. I got a good buzz going. I'll do it. Just so long as you're not going to just turn around and sell it. To which I explained to him, as any of you know, this is going to a good, loving home. Because, quite frankly, I couldn't pass this up. I mean, although I almost had to, ironically enough, this just barely fit in my mom's Honda Fit. Pictured here is, how we had to drive from, Rogers, Ohio to Parma, Ohio, all using, country roads. It was a whole lot of, man, that was a butt-clenching experience. But we got her home safe and sound. And, well, it brings me to why I even got it in the first place. Yes, this is from a fairly stupid anime, something I have little to no interest in. But it's just such a wonderful... It's almost a museum piece for me as, behold, the fandom. This is something, again, yes, it's machine embroidered, but this is still a lot of time and effort put into this. And it's oversized, it's obnoxious, it's gaudy, and I absolutely adore it. And that's why this is probably the best, worst thing in my collection.